Welcome to Digital Bytes and 2026. Yay! Happy New Year, everybody. Sorry we've been out of touch for a while. We've just had a lot of things going on with holidays and illnesses and computers and all kinds of stuff. So we're back now, and I just wanted to take a moment and talk about a few changes that we're making. The biggest change for Digital Bytes is that rather than once a week, we are actually going to a bi-monthly schedule, so every 2 weeks. And we're going to do every second and fourth Monday of the month. And that way we can preserve the quality of things and keep up with all of the other activities we have in our lives, as well as other activities on Unmute. We will continue to have episodes of At Your Fingertips, as well as Mac Chat. And I will also be posting episodes of Learning Blind Tech with Desiree Renee on the Unmute podcast feed, so you'll be able to see that there. We have a lot of exciting new things we're going to cover this year. Personally, I got a lot of new tech toys that I can't wait to show off and talk about and demonstrate. And I know that Jonathan's working on some different presentations on Markdown and other text entry and Office-based software and how to use those with a screen reader. And we'll just continue going through different apps and different things that come out as we find them this year. So that's just a brief thing. Now, just so that we have a little bit of a tip today, I want to play you a demonstration of something that I did for work. And this is going to be using MathCat and NVDA. MathCat is an add-on for NVDA, and I go into more detail with this demonstration. So here it goes. Today, I want to talk about math. Now, most of us, well, I shouldn't say that, but me, I'm not a very big math person anymore. I'm not in school, but a lot of people are, and they're really into all of the complex math, algebra, calculus, that kind of thing. So we've been at work trying to figure out what is the most accessible way to do math on the computer. And what we found is that NVDA and an add-on called MathCat work really well. And I want to show you briefly what happens when you don't have MathCat installed, and you'll listen to what happens, and I'll explain to you what I'm seeing on my Mantis Braille display as well. And then we'll enable the add-on, and we'll go through the same 5 examples, and you'll be able to hear the difference. So I have this sample thing loaded here, and it has some math in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got NVDA running, and
toolbar region default color schemes.
I'm at the top of my screen here. I'm going to skip to the radio buttons because that's where the math content is. So I'm going to press R.
Main landmark A, ++, 2 radio button checked.
Okay, and then I'm going to arrow down here.
A. Radio button not checked.
And right here isn't a blank space. So when you arrow through, you don't hear anything. It just has a blank line in Braille. When I go up,
A. Radio button checked. Dot.
I get nothing here. But if I press R,
A. ++, 2 radio button checked.
I get something spoken. I still see nothing in Braille. And I get something like ++2. And I can tell you that is not what I'm seeing when I run the add-on. So now I'm going to go R again.
B2 radio button not checked.
Just says 2.
B.
And then again, when you arrow, nothing.
C2++ radio button not checked.
And then
C.
Nothing. And then
D+23 radio button not checked.
Okay. Now I'm going to press Enter to go into kind of applications mode with the radio buttons.
D +23B radio button checked 4 of 4.
Okay, so now I get a little bit more, but in Braille I get all of these random symbols like .4, NY, 14, period, 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 E, +2, 3, random parentheses stuff.
CAX2 plus BX plus C radio button checked 3 of 4.
Now AX2 plus B, so it's pronouncing the squared as a 2. So it's partially right? But again, the Braille is a mess. You would not be able to decipher in Nimith or any kind of Braille math that this is a math equation.
B pi R2 radio button check 2 of 4.
Again, pi r2 is, I think, pi r squared. And so it kind of reads it, but not fully.
A plus B plus C, 2 radio button checked 1 of 4.
Okay, and that's the first radio button in the set. So that's without the add-on installed or enabled. So now I'm going to go into my NVDA tools area. So I'm going to press Insert plus N.
NVDA menu.
I'm going to press T for Tools.
View log L.
And A for
Add-on store.
Add-on store.
Add-on store. Installed add-ons. All. Dialog MathCAD. Speech and Braille from MathML. Installed add-ons.
Okay, so this is called MathCat, and it's in the add-on store, and it is speech and Braille from MathML. So if there's math content, technically this plugin or add-on will render it as accessible math. So right now I have it disabled. I'm going to re-enable it here.
Description, Actions button Alt plus C. Context menu. Enable E.
And I'm going to enable it.
Add-on store. Installed add-ons.
Now let's read the description.
Description. Edit read-only multi-line MathCAD is a replacement for Math Player which has been discontinued.
Okay.
It provides speech and Braille support, and also supports Math Player's 3 modes of navigation. The speech quality is not quite as good as Math Player's speech yet. But the Braille support is much better and includes support for Nimeth, UEB Technical, CMU, Spanish/Portuguese, and Vietnamese Braille code standards. Vietnamese exist, and other translations are in progress,
Okay, so that's a pretty good description. If you used to use Math Player, which we did, it's been discontinued, and this MathCat replaces it with much better Braille support than Math Player had. So I'm going to escape out of here.
Restart NVDA.
And I need to restart NVDA because I re-enabled the add-on.
No button, yes button Alt.
So yes. And it's restarting now.
Pearson Voot.
Okay, now I'm in the same area of this content here. And I'm going to go up here to the first radio button.
Select the answer option that contains the equation.
Okay, now here's where it's going to read the equation.
Open paren A plus B plus C, close paren squared.
Okay, so you hear how it did it really well. And I'll tell you that in Braille, I'm seeing the exact math equation with the parentheses A plus B plus C, close parentheses squared, and I have the symbol for the squared with the little 2 after the, I think that's a superscript, or I don't know, the squared symbol. And now I'm going to read the choices.
Radio button not checked. A. Open paren A plus B plus C, close paren squared.
So you've got A plus B plus C squared, and the parentheses and the squared symbol are all there. And that's actually the answer because it's what you're supposed to select. It's just a sample thing. But let's keep reading through the choices.
Radio B. Pi r squared.
So that's pi r squared. And again, you have the pi symbol and then r squared.
Radio button not checked. C. AX squared plus BX plus C.
And again, ax squared plus bx plus c. And all of this is spoken clearly, and it's very clear on my Braille display. The math symbols are very clear.
Radio button not checked. D. The fraction with numerator A plus 2 and denominator 3b.
So even though you get all of that spoken stuff where it tells you numerator is A plus 2, denominator is 3b, I actually see it in Braille as a math fraction. So that is way better than it used to be with the old Math Player.
Button exam info.
Okay, now let's say I want to check one of these. So I'm going to go back up to the first one.
D plus C2 B2 A plus plus 2 radio button.
Now, I used my Shift R key. And when you do that, you're kind of going to get what you get before MathML. So you have to use your arrow keys.
A. Open paren A plus B plus C, close paren squared. Radio button not checked.
Okay, so you want the radio button above that.
Checked.
And I've checked it, and then I can go to the next question. So that is basically how MathCat improves access to MathML when added on to NVDA, and you got to see what it was like before we added MathCat and after. You can find MathCat again in the add-on store under Tools and NVDA Preferences, and it is a free add-on. So thank you very much. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for listening. Now we'll see you next month.